Écoute bien. En Afrique, une bombe vient de tomber au Burkina Faso. Et c'est pas le genre qui détruit, c'est le genre qui construit, qui libère et qui fait trembler les corrompus. Le 12 septembre 2025, le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré, révolutionnaire intrépide de 37 ans, a déclenché une onde de choc à travers tout le continent en remettant 764 machines lourdes de construction routière d'une valeur de milliards de francs CFA à chaque région de son pays. Pas de prêt du FMI, pas d'aide occidentale, pas de prosternation devant les anciens colonisateurs. C'est la richesse africaine, la volonté africaine, le travail africain, un crachat au visage de ceux qui ont vendu nos âmes pour des miettes. De Dakar à Dar et Salaam, les élites corrompues tremblent dans leurs costumes importés, car le geste de Traoré hurle une vérité brutale. L'Afrique n'a pas besoin de leurs aumônes pour s'élever. Ceci est une révolution sur roue et elle trace la route de notre liberté. Mettons les choses au clair, c'était pas juste une cérémonie de remise, c'était une déclaration de guerre contre la dépendance et les pièges de la dette qui enchaînent notre continent depuis des générations. Traoré, debout, fier, dans son béret emblématique, n'a pas simplement livré des équipements. Il a livré une vision. Sous l'initiative présidentielle face au Mayabo, ces 164 machines, deuxième lot d'une série de 5, sont la preuve vivante que le Burkina Faso en a fini d'attendre que les étrangers dictent son destin. Le premier lot est déjà à l'œuvre, déchirant la terre, posant entre 3000 et 5000 km de route chaque année. Et non, c'est pas une faute de frappe. Des milliers de kilomètres chaque année pour relier les villages aux villes, les fermiers au marché, les rêves à la réalité. Ce n'est pas un simple exploit, c'est un bond colossal vers une Afrique unie et autonome. Avant d'entrer dans les détails, mes frères et sœurs, commençons par comprendre qui est le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré, car ce jeune homme est en train de tout changer au Burkina Faso.
No. That what we are witnessing in Burkina Faso is not the usual thing that we have seen in the past in Africa. The individual you're looking at is a revolutionary archetype of the 21st century. I borrowed that from a very brilliant brother who said that. I said, this guy is a revolutionary archetype. I actually call him an incarnation of the revolutionaries that have been unalived in the history of Africa in the past. I always say that this guy is a combination of the reincarnation of all these guys, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Muammar Gaddafi, these men who wanted the best for Africa and wanted Africa to break with the colonial masters and actually pursue its own destiny by itself. And all of them were killed because of this. And so when you look at Ibrahim Traoré, you're looking at a guy who has come out from the loins of these men. This is the symbol of the resilience, the transformational and revolutionary resilience of Africa, saying no matter how much you try to kill us, we are still here and we are definitely going to win. You can kill the careers of the idea, but you can never kill the idea. You can kill the messengers, but you can never kill the message. That is what is happening. Can you imagine how far back Patrice Lumumba tried to give us the same thing that we are looking at today in Burkina Faso, and they unalived him? Can you imagine how long ago Thomas Sankara tried to do it, and they killed him? And Muammar Gaddafi recently tried, and they took him out. And so Africans have already resigned to the fate that whoever comes up to give us freedom, to help us to break from the shackles of colonialism, which now manifests in the form of neo-colonialism that is so endemic in Africa today, that person is going to lose their lives. This is what we have resigned to. But you see, Mother Africa says, no, not so fast. I'm still here, and I'm never going to accept slavery over freedom. So that's how I look at Ibrahim Traoré. He's not irregular. He is not an ordinary guy. When you see Ibrahim Traoré, the reason we call him an archetype is because he is an embodiment of all the cries and the weeping and the pains of Africa. He's not the only one in the Sahel. Remember, the revolution began in Mali. And we have to give it up for that brother in Mali who held it together until Burkina Faso then happened. And then you had Niger Republic. It was the motivation of Mali. It was Mali that motivated this Burkina Faso, that inspired Burkina Faso to happen. And Burkina Faso inspired Niger Republic to happen. And the three of them are now inspiring many other revolutionaries and revolutions that are breeding right now, that are sitting in different parts of Africa. There are so many more that are going to fall in. Mark my words. In no distant time, you're going to see many more African countries. And that is the essence of making sure that Ibrahim Traore is protected. Ibrahim Traore only just happens to be the one that has been singled out as the poster child for what God is about to do on the continent of Africa. He's not the only one, but he has been singled as a sign. When I made a particular video I put out some time ago, I said, Ibrahim Traore is the sign from God. A single human being that became a sign of an entire revolutionary process. That's who he has become. So when you hear him speak, you will feel it. You will see it coming. You can feel the fire in his bones. And he's very calm and calculated. He knows exactly that our time has come. They said you cannot defeat an idea whose time has come. How can you defeat it? This idea has been there. It's been there for so many years. Many of our forefathers died hoping and believing that this day will come. But eventually, it pleased God that it will happen in our own lifetime. And it is happening right now. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. That is why, Garland, can you believe it? You think it's fake news? More than 18 to 20 assassination attempts on Ibrahim Traore, all of them failed. And I can bet you today, he is not the only one they're trying to take out. You can imagine how many assassination attempts Assimi Goïta of Mali has also endured. You can imagine how many that Tchiani of Niger Republic has also endured. But now they are targeting Ibrahim Traore because Burkina Faso is now the place, like the headquarters of the AES nations, the Sahel states that have broken with the colonial powers. So Burkina Faso is the security headquarters for them. That's where almost everything is coordinated from. So they want to target and destroy this one that has come out as the symbol of the revolution, so that the moment they do it, every other person will be psychologically incapacitated, and the rest of Africa will crawl back into their cocoons, crawl back into their shells and say, well, I said it before, we are never going to be free. We are not meant to be free. A lot of Africans already believe that we are not meant to be free from the colonial powers. That's why you have puppets all over the place. Puppets giving their whole life to serve the colonial powers in the 21st century. Garland, these are our brothers. Because they are cowards. They have given up. They no longer believe that miracles are possible to happen on the continent. They gave up hope. That's why. So the colonials used them. Look at Cameroon. Look at so many parts of Africa. Leaders, so-called leaders in power for generations. And France is so happy. And yet General Michael Langley is coming to tell us that the problem of the world is Ibrahim Traore that just came to power in 2022. But you have the guy in Cameroon and in different other parts of Africa who have done decades in power, nothing but tyranny on their people. And then allowing France and colonials to steal all the money and take them away. That's all they've done. Nobody cares about the people who are dying and languishing in poverty. But the one man who has come out with his brothers in the Sahel region to say, enough is enough. Africa belongs to Africans. We don't want to exist alone as Africans. We want to do business. We want to be partners with every other person, but it has to be a win-win. You cannot make it a win-lose in favor of the colonials on something that belongs to me. No, enough is enough. So whenever you look at Ibrahim Traore, and not just him, whenever you look at Assimi Goïta of Mali, whenever you look at Abdurrahmane Tchiani of Niger Republic, you are looking at the resilience of revolutionary Africa. You are looking at the practical and pragmatic renaissance of Africa, Mother Africa, saying, I have had enough. The time has come for my freedom, and nobody, no matter who you are, will stop me. And this is also a message to our brothers like you in diaspora. You guys now need to know that Africa is roaring back to life. Time to stop feeling inferior in the land where you feel you are not accepted. Come back to where you look like everybody and everybody looks like you, where you are actually originally from. This is your roots. Africa is your roots. You need to begin to come back. Pour into Burkina Faso, pour into Mali, pour into Niger Republic. Let's go and defend motherland and make sure that when we say never again, we mean never again. I was proud to see him there. And I believe by the grace of God that he will not be the only one who will stand like that in Moscow with world leaders and even in other different fora that are coming in the future. Many more African countries are going to throw away these garbage people called colonials, and they are going to reclaim their sovereignty and now be in charge of their own destinies. Garland, listen, while we're on it, let me tell you something. I want to give you some figures so it won't look like I'm just being emotional. What do you think is the gold reserves of France? France's gold reserves rank as the fourth largest in the whole world. The fourth largest. Darling, let your followers and yourself do a research. Ask and check if there is any single drop of gold in the land or the source of France. Not one, not even a dust of it. But they have the fourth largest gold reserves in the world. Meanwhile, Burkina Faso, the home of gold, Mali, the kingdom of gold, Nigeria, all these places, not a single gold reserve from them. They don't have one. This is why Jacques Chirac, the former president of France, said that if you take away Africa, that France will descend into the ranks of third world countries. Because without us, these guys are finished. And yet they don't give us respect. They don't even say, let's have a win-win situation. Let's come into a win-win situation where I take this and you take that. And then it will be based on mutual respect. No, this is about stealing from you. This is why France was taking uranium from Niger Republic. At uranium, they were selling for almost 200 and something euros, but they were giving Niger Republic about 0.80 euros per kilogram. So when I'm vibrating like this, people don't understand the anger and the pain. How do you take a powerful resource like uranium that is needed? Do you know that Niger Republic is the 7th largest producer of uranium and the 2nd largest supplier of uranium to the EU? This is Niger Republic. Yes, I know you're surprised.
Wow.
The 7th largest producer in the world and the 2nd largest supplier to the EU. And you will take all the uranium, and for 1 kilo, you're giving them less than €1, but it is selling for 200 euros in the global market. How do you do that? And so even with the tiny little they give to them, which is the royalty they're paying them for that, they still get to deposit 85% of that money as a foreign reserve, foreign currency reserve in Banque de France. So when they deposit 85% of that tiny little fraction, they are left with 15%, which is absolutely nothing. In fact, call it money that is good for just one family. And you leave that for an entire nation. And so what happens? They become poor, they become needy, and then they have to go back again to the same France, the same Banque de France to say, we need money. They are allowed to borrow only about 20%. If they go to say we want to get more than 20% of what they have deposited, they are questioned. And in that borrowing they borrow, they are borrowing it at market prices with very high interest rate. This is their own money that France took from them, that they call colonial tax. And France explained that the reason they are paying colonial tax to us is because we colonize them, and when we colonize them, we build infrastructure in their lands, so they have to keep paying off forever. No time limit. You pay colonial tax. And that is keeping 85% of your foreign currency reserve in Banque de France. Are you kidding me? This is what is happening to French colonies, 14 of them in the... Okay, Garland, please, I know you have a little time. I don't want to rush this. I'm going to read you.
No, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
2012 report. Let me read you country by country. I don't have the current report, but I will give you how much these countries paid to France. That's why France receives over 500 billion every year from these countries. 500 billion every year, plus the stealing of their resources. In 2012, the approximate foreign currency reserves, including gold, that was paid into Banque de France from Niger Republic was 1.17 billion US dollars. In the same 2012, Togo was $510 million. Benin Republic was $690 million. Cameroon was $3.38 billion. Guinea-Bissau, $190 million. Congo-Brazzaville, Republic of Congo, $5.5 billion. You know Congo. Congo is the most blessed nation, resource-rich nation on earth, okay? Ivory Coast and Cote d'Ivoire, how much? 4.24 billion. Mali, 1.31 billion. Gabon, 2.35 billion. Chad, 1.16 billion. Central African Republic, 160 million. Senegal, 2.25 billion. Burkina Faso, 930 million. Equatorial Guinea, $4.4 billion. This was 2012 figures. Every year they do that, apart from Mali, Niger Republic, and Burkina Faso that have now extricated themselves and pulled away from that evil union. The rest of them are still doing the same thing till this day, paying money to these guys. For what? Because they rely on Africa to survive. That's why I went this long route to show you that the game is played differently this time. When you are looking at Burkina Faso, it's no longer a Sahelian project. It is now an African project because Africans have had enough. Africans are tired. You cannot keep taking our natural resources and tell us that the highest royalty paid to any nation in Africa on their natural resources is 5%. 5, Garland, 5% royalty. How did I know? The former president of Gambia, Yahya Jammeh, was kicked out of office by the West because he said, I am not taking 5% royalty on the natural resources that are in the land of my fathers. They say, why? He said, how can you give me 5% royalty? Are we not supposed to have an agreement on how this is done? Are you not supposed to come into partnership and tell me what you bring to the table? I'll tell you, okay, I own this, you take this, I take that. No, you don't have that right. If you're in Africa, they told him, Mr. President, you should be happy because the 5% we're offering you, there are only 3 countries in Africa that have up to 5%. The rest are lower. So Garland, we have less, which is why the president, the wife of the president of Sierra Leone, sitting president, was complaining. If she just complained recently, the video went viral, and she was saying to everyone that, listen, we are given 0.0001% royalty on the gold. You know, Sierra Leone is a gold coast. It's a gold coast. But if you visit Sierra Leone today, it's like a shithole. Pardon my language. Sierra Leone is a shadow. It's not even, you can't even find where to put your feet. So backward, so messed up, so devastated economically. But if you imagine if the gold in that country was being nationalized the way Ibrahim Traoré is nationalizing the wealth of his country right now, everybody from Sierra Leone would have been living so big, you won't see any one of them going to queue for visas to travel anywhere. This is what is happening to countries in Africa. And this is why every African diasporan must pay attention and must back what is happening in the Sahel. Because if you can consolidate and hold down what has happened in Sahel, many more victories will roll in. If we let them touch any one of those guys, we are done. Psychologically, they will weaken us. And you won't see any revolution anywhere again. But thank God for the gift of Russia in times like this. I believe that the rivalry, or not even the rivalry, the animosity between Russia and the West was created by heaven so that we can have our freedom. So that's why today it is not easy for them to take him out like they would have before. He wouldn't even have lasted 2 years in power. He's been there for more. And so much is happening in Burkina Faso.
Décomposons cet arsenal parce que ce ne sont pas de simples jouets pour une séance photo. Imagine ça, 124 pick-ups taillés pour conquérir les terrains les plus rudes du Sahel, permettant aux ingénieurs et superviseurs d'atteindre les coins oubliés par les cartes coloniales, plus de 80 bétonnières brassant les fondations solides de ponts qui défient nos rivières, d'écoles qui arment nos enfants de savoir et d'hôpitaux qui soignent nos malades sans ordonnance étrangère. Des camions grues s'élevant comme des géants, soulevant des poutres d'acier et les espoirs d'une nation, prouvant qu'aucun fardeau n'est trop lourd quand le peuple se tient debout. Des camions-bennes et camions de ville chargés de sable, de gravier et de pierres, extraits des carrières du sol burkinabé, transportant les matières brutes du progrès, des niveleuses qui tranchent la terre inégale, aplanissant les chemins pour des déplacements plus sûrs et plus rapides, des machines de recyclage qui transforment les déchets en richesses, assurant un développement non seulement rapide, mais durable, et des projecteurs mobiles illuminant la nuit, pour que le travail ne s'arrête pas quand le soleil se couche. Cette flotte n'est pas juste un ensemble de machines, c'est le cœur battant d'une nation, le moteur de l'indépendance, les outils de la souveraineté. Pourquoi c'est important? Pourquoi chaque Africain de Alger au Cap devrait-il s'en soucier? Parce que le geste de Traoré est une gifle à chaque dirigeant qui a vendu notre avenir pour une tape sur la tête de Paris, Londres ou Washington. Pendant des décennies, on a vu nos soi-disant présidents défiler avec des bulldozers étrangers pour laisser derrière eux des routes inachevées et des promesses brisées. Ils ont encaissé les pots de vin de la Banque mondiale pendant que nos villages s'asphyxient dans la poussière et l'isolement. Traoré, lui, il est différent. Il a nationalisé des mines d'or comme Wakamon pour une bouchée de pain 80 millions au lieu de 300. Il a transformé cette richesse minérale en machines. Il a construit des usines de transformation de tomates, relancé les industries du coton et troqué les perruques des juges coloniaux contre des pagnes de faso d'Anfani. Aujourd'hui, il distribue ces machines à toutes les régions. Yaga, Kossi, Goulmou, Banoa. Il décentralise le pouvoir pour que le progrès ne soit plus monopolisé par l'élite de Ouaga. C'est un développement par le peuple, pour le peuple. Et les chiffres donnent le vertige. 3000 km de route chaque année, ça veut dire connecter les déconnectés. Ça veut dire qu'un agriculteur à Dori peut vendre son mil à Bobo Dioulasso sans perdre la moitié de sa récolte à cause des routes défoncées. Ça veut dire qu'une mère à Bora peut atteindre une clinique avant que la fièvre de son enfant ne devienne tragédie. Ça veut dire que la jeunesse du Fada et du Gourma a du travail, du vrai travail. Conduire des niveleuses, mélanger du béton, construire leur avenir de leurs propres mains. Traoré ne construit pas que des routes. Il construit de l'espoir, et les corrompus, eux, ils tremblent. À Abuja, Accra et Nairobi, les dirigeants engraissés par l'aide étrangère voient leur jeu s'effondrer. Au Mali et au Niger, alliés du Burkina dans l'Alliance des États du Sahel, on applaudit, eux qui ont déjà tourné le dos au pantin de la CEDEAO, pour nouer des partenariats avec la Russie qui respectent notre dignité. Mais Traoré est le pionnier, celui qui prouve que l'Afrique peut financer ses propres miracles. C'est personnel pour moi, en tant que journaliste panafricaniste. J'ai marché sur les sentiers défoncés de la campagne ougandaise, vu le désespoir dans les villages congolais coupés du monde. J'ai assisté à trop de cérémonies d'inauguration où les rubans ont tenu plus longtemps que les routes. Le Burkina de Traoré est en train de réécrire cette histoire. Ces machines ne servent pas qu'à construire. Elles servent à reconstruire notre fierté, notre unité, un continent à qui on a dit trop souvent qu'il était rien sans l'Occident. Traoré incarne l'esprit de Thomas Sankara, mais avec une vision du 20 et un siècle. Les réserves d'or grimpent, les recettes explosent, les dépenses sociales flambent. Et même le FMI reconnaît la solidité de l'économie burkinabé. TikTok et X s'enflamment, la jeunesse l'appelle le Che Guevara africain. Et ils n'ont pas tort. Mais ne soyons pas aveuglés par l'éclat sans voir les épines. Les insurgés rôdent toujours dans le nord. Les sanctions mordent et les puissances mondiales n'aiment pas voir leurs marionnettes tomber. Mais Traoré reste imperturbable. Il a armé la nation avec des drones de Moscou, pas avec des dettes de Bruxelles. Il a formé des milliers de jeunes, pas pour aller suer dans des usines étrangères, mais pour construire ici, pour nous. Il a bâti des toilettes publiques pour dignifier nos rues, des unités de transformation pour valoriser nos agriculteurs. Voilà à quoi ressemble une révolution. Pas des discours d'épelle, pas des promesses, du bitume. Afrique, c'est notre signal d'alarme. Si le Burkina peut forger 5000 km de liberté par an, qu'est-ce qui nous retient? D'Harare à Bamako, réclamons des leaders qui construisent, pas qui quémandent. Soutenons ceux qui voient en notre or, nos gens, notre esprit, notre terre, notre force, tout ce qu'il faut. Les machines de Traoré roulent, et elles ne pavent pas seulement des routes. Elles tracent la voie vers une renaissance panafricaine. Les corrompus paniquent, car ils savent que leur temps est révolu. L'ère de la soumission est morte. Vive les bâtisseurs. Ne t'arrête pas là, camarade. Ce que tu viens de voir n'est qu'un fragment du réveil africain. Clique maintenant pour découvrir une autre vidéo de la chaîne. Car chaque histoire, chaque vérité qu'ils veulent enterrer, on la met en lumière. Regarde la suite. Éduque-toi.